Namaste, Jai Bharat. The Rig Veda is the first text available to mankind. There is nothing beyond Rig Veda. And in other ways also, there is nothing beyond Rig Veda as far as knowledge is concerned. You don't know when it was written. There is no way of knowing how or when Rig Veda was written, but we understand each sukta is nothing but an experience of the Rishikas and Rishis, both female and men. In Bharat, we don't make distinctions between man and woman. We never made. Such distinctions come from Europe, which is based on the initial classification of Plato into man and woman into two categories in his ladder of beings, and from there the whole European understanding of womanhood develops, because they have just copied everything from Greece. Prior to that, they had nothing. So the first available text to mankind, whatever people say, how old it is, we don't know. So the Rig Veda, it's always a challenge. In the sense, each time you look at Rig Veda, it will have different meanings, because it's so dynamic and so creative, which of course is a different aspect of understanding, different issue. But let me speak about what I personally gather from Rig Veda is that it is an epistemology of coexistence. I call it as the epistemology of the coexistence of the multiple and plural, having understood the nature of nature as multiple and plural. This is one contribution as I feel, very important from Rig Veda, apart from any scientific information coming. Now, the epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural, this enables people of Bharatiya Sanskriti not to discriminate something which is unknown to us. When you know something new, you don't discriminate and make it the other. That question doesn't come into our Sanskriti. So we accept. Now we look at the Hindu Dharma. We have multiple gods. No god is superior in the sense to all, and also no god is less superior. This kind of thought doesn't come to us. For us, it's all the same. When a Hindu goes to a temple, he goes to a temple which is unknown to him, when he visits a new place, he hardly bothers which is the deity in that temple. So you visit a village somewhere, and then evening, your host says, why don't you go to temple and come in the evening? We'll say, yes, let's go. And you just walk through the village roads, or even if it is town, you go to the temple, and you don't ask him that what deity is there in the temple. Usually you don't ask him, because that is irrelevant to us. That's an unnecessary question to ask. Which deity is it? Primarily because all deities are the same to us. Now we have different sampradayas, different gurukulas, different sannyasis, rishis, and different ashramas even today. And we go to an ashrama, then each ashram has their own codes of conduct. We just follow that. And we go to another ashrama same day for some reason. They'll have a distinct, not different, code of conduct. You will follow that, makes no difference. So these kind of things are in front of you, and I would like to say that this is all connected. It originates from the Vedic epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural, which later becomes in philosophy the Vedopanishadic knowledge traditions epistemology as the coexistence of the multiple and plural, because the nature of nature we understand as multiple and plural. This is it. Now let's pick up one sukta from the Rig Veda. That's how the Rig Veda sums up after saying all those things. The 191st sukta of the 10th mandala. Mandala is a chapter, and 10th mandala is the last chapter of Rig Veda. It has only 10 mandalas. And the 191 sukta says this. Let me just say Sangachadhvam, samvadathvam, samvo manasi janatam. That's all. Sangachadhvam, come together. Sangha, come together. Sanghachadhvam, come together. Samvadathvam, speak together. When speak together, the same thing. Sanghachadhvam, samvadathvam, come together, speak together. And samvo manasi, let your minds, samvo manasi janatam, think together, think alike, work alike, function alike, understand alike, and proceed alike. This calls for coming together of the multiple and plural, which is the nature of nature. This brings the society together. See, just imagine, just understand, there is no iota of thought of the other difference. If you maintain even an iota of difference in your mind, you can't bring things together. But the Rig Veda, the oldest text of mankind, tells you as it ends, as the first Rig Veda's last mandala, last chapter ends, the last sutta says, be together, think together, function together, of course. Togetherness is strength, and you stand together. Of course, Rig Veda also says you will go from strength to strength. From being strong, you go to further strong. Be together. But come together is so called. Now think about other societies which are other than Hindu societies, where hatred is introduced. Look at Pakistan, for example. They literally take kafir as to be killed. Of course, many Islamic nations which had modernized themselves, they don't follow literally. They get the spirit of their religious texts and live accordingly, perhaps much better than the Pakistanis do. The Pakistanis have mutilated their religious texts, literal translations, and inject hatred in the minds of their society youngsters, which they celebrate this word in their language, nafrat, and they enjoy calling others than themselves as kafirs. And look at Rig Veda. What Rig Veda tells you, be together, come together. We don't make difference between me and other. The other doesn't exist in the epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural, which originates from the Vedas, which of course today we call it as a Veda Vanishadic knowledge tradition. We'll come back with some other thought, some other time. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Sri Ram.